It's wonderful to sit down today and talk with you and get a chance to know more about you. Now, were you born and raised here in Honolulu?
I was. I was raised in Kali'ipalama, across from Merite Housing, and I didn't learn how to speak standard English. I didn't even know there was such a thing called standard English until I was in 7th grade.
You were speaking primarily Pidgin?
Only Pidgin. That was how you talked that time.
Wow. Your story is really fantastic. You went off to the mainland, you went to Ivy League schools. How did you come to be connected with Group 70? And you've been here now over 40 years.
Yes. For 15 years, really, nobody knew who we were, which wasn't surprising because being local boys, we love to do the work, but we could never talk about ourselves, for example, you know. It's like, who you think you? But we had a vision. We all agreed that what we wanted to do was make a difference in Hawaii and ultimately, as ridiculous as it seemed, the world. A lot of people feel that it's egotistical to have a big vision here. Well, I think that's something that's got to change, right?
There are a lot of kids in the Kali'ipalama area that can never see themselves being you someday. You see that as, oh, I'm boasting. I see that as hundreds of kids see there's a potential for me out there. I think it's awesome.
I'm totally convinced and have experienced that Hawaii people are world class. We can make an impact wherever we choose to be. I hope a lot come back to Hawaii and transform Hawaii. But as far as the potential, capability, the ability, kids here, adults here have it. We in Hawaii need to aspire and not be ashamed of aspiration, I think, you know, and then help each other to reach those aspirations.
Talk to me about some of the exciting projects you've done locally that you're really proud of.
Well, we're proud of every project, of course, you know. But there are some recent ones that I think are pretty well known by everyone. One is the Kroc Center, which is a great project because, one, the Salvation Army is just a great organization. They do so much for the community and talk about vision, you know, and they're global now. But all of this that is open to the community, this is the beauty of it. It's not just for an organization, but it's really for a community. Another project is the Sullivan Center for Iolani School. Had the vision for a building, unlike any building in Hawaii, and really, I don't know if there's another similar building in the United States for a high school. Unprogrammed, a building that would provide resources for teams of students to go and create things, to be innovative, to dream and to vision, and to actually then get support in making these visions come true.
You are about so much more than just the facade of the structure or how it looks or whether it's unique. You really care deeply about what it does for the people who exist and use it and live around it. Can you share more about that?
Sure. You know, actually, I don't think I'm unique among architects because architects have it embedded in us to really think societally. But I think here at Group 70, we have a greater passion, maybe as you say, for societal things. Social justice is something very important to us, but also cultural things. So Group 70 has been very invested in learning from traditional Hawaiian culture, learning from the history of Hawaii, but then using it to go into the future because we're a living culture. You know, we have a responsibility. We're all keepers of the culture, and we represent our kuleana in different ways. Hawaii is going to be a place, a cultural place, like we cannot envision. And how would Hawaii be a leader of nations that have their roots in indigenous culture? I think this is one of the destinies of Hawaii. So this is an investment and seed into global influence in terms of indigenous cultures and the influence indigenous cultures have on what we call the first world. We have been very focused on these kinds of things under the general umbrella also of sustainability. We're doing cities in other countries like Indonesia, Tahiti, where the entire city is sustainable. Water is one of the most valuable resources we have. So if we can recycle that water for further flushing, irrigation, you are really, really helping your ecosystem and your supply of water. So those kinds of things we incorporate naturally into our projects, but also when we do a whole new city, then we really are putting it into the infrastructure, so it's going to just continue on forever.
Tell me why working at Group 70 is such a great experience for you and for all of your staff.
Well, for me, there's something I say to every person we interview to come to Group 70 that I sit in the interview with. I say, look at Group 70 as a platform that's been developed over the years by people to achieve your dreams and visions. Every day I come to Group 70 thinking, I have a chance to achieve my dreams and visions. No, this is literally the case. That's what makes it so fulfilling. We also say that if you're not trying to achieve your dreams and visions, then you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing here. You know, if it's just work, just sort of getting by every day, that's not what we're all about. So we have that culture of encouraging. Another thing, sense of family. So there's a huge connectedness among our people. We're multi-generational, multiracial. We are a group and we are a family more than that. I think a successful company has to be thinking about the next generation, because you don't have much of a footprint if you're just thinking about, okay, I'm going to do my thing and when I'm Paul, that's it. What we have to invest in is their success. Every single person matters. And I'm not just talking about the professional people. It's like everybody matters at Group 70. That is maybe one of the great distinguishing things about Group 70 as a firm. I believe that it's a valuable one that returns to you many times over. And we're so fortunate, blessed to have great clients. And we've been fortunate to have projects that reach throughout the Pacific area and, of course, Hawaii. Buildings are one-of-a-kind items that cost tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. They will never be done the same way again and have not been done the same way before. Imagine being part of a process where you can actually create these unique one-off things in a way that you are part of the envisioning process. What a privilege. That's an awesome privilege. And then people actually spend tens of millions of dollars to make them a reality. And then they exist far beyond your time. They go to future generations. What is there not to be excited about?